Okay, so I want to start by correcting my mistake with the step down of the slab, and it's very easy. We want this edge, or the two skins of brickwork on the edge, to come down by one brick course exactly. So I'm going to simply make a window selection around all of those lines, and then also this one at the bottom. And then I'll leave this at the moment because that's got to change a little bit more. So I'm going to use the move option now, or the move tool, and simply snap to the top of one of the bricks that I've drawn. Also to the bottom of one of the bricks that I've drawn, and then snap to the bottom of the next brick below. And that's done most of it. Now I need to bring this line back to finish under this inner skin of brickwork, and I can now make sure I'm on that floor concrete cut layer and draw a new line from the bottom of the inner skin of brickwork to the bottom of, well, it's a bit of funny detail. If you think about what would need to happen there, we'll take it straight down, and then, it wouldn't go straight diagonally across, but then it would step, if you saw it cut in a different place, it would step differently. But anyhow, so there, we would then just join these together. Oh, sorry, I don't have a line there, so I need to draw another line now for my concrete going across. And so it's really the flashing that would be joining in different ways. We don't really need to show that though if we're not cutting through it, so I'm just going to extend this flashing down to here. And it's unusual to have the flashing stretching across that distance, but that's what it would have to do because of that wide cavity. And then now I have these lines that need to just be extended down as well, and this one also. There we are. Now remember that last week we worked out the height of the brickwork from the outside, so this must be right, and also this is probably right as well. That's the height of the sill on the outside. It could be a little bit higher. I've made it 80 mil, maybe it's as much as 100 mil, and I will, just for the sake of having round numbers, stretch that up 20 mil. And then the concrete sill is probably flat for the most part, or for the inner part anyway, and then it slopes. So I'm just going to take a guess and say it probably slopes from around the middle, so the midpoint there, down to here. So this is where we got a bit, well, I got a bit confused, and John was having a look at this as well. So it must step. So on the outside it's lower than it is on the inside. And so then also we worked out that it's 170 on the inside, so let's see what my measurements work out to now from there down to here. And if you're not following what I'm doing with my measurements, I'm trying to work out the distance vertically from this point to the bottom of this line. I've measured diagonally, but I've got there delta y, right, which is telling me it's 165. And like we were saying, we measured that and it's actually 170 in reality. 165 is close enough. So that's a good thing just to double check that everything's right. So there, this is where, again, the confusion happened because the sill is not straight. Now, a good trick with hatching, now with AutoCAD, you can actually stretch hatch patterns, which you couldn't do in the past, so you don't need to always recreate it. There are other really good tricks to recreate hatch boundaries if you have to do that as well. And so I'm just filleting here, just using the shortcut. There we are. So that's what the top looks like. And there's the stepping. So, like I was saying, the flashing would be a little bit different where it steps in, but we don't need to draw that. And so I'll just continue on now and start setting up the upper part. So you'll have the ceiling, which I gave you the height. What was the height for that? 2910? Yep. Okay, so I'm going to begin by offsetting 2910. from, well, if we're being fussy, we will put the carpet in here. So how thick do you think the carpet would be? Yeah, something like that. 10, even with the underlay, wouldn't be a whole lot. So you could offset 10 mil. And then make a, you could even, well, definitely make a layer for the carpet. You probably don't need to make a layer for the underlay or anything like that, but it's for interiors after all, and so you should be thinking about your interior finishes. And then I'm going to make a layer for my carpet though, definitely. And we'll put in a just colour that's going to stand out, and the thickness probably less than the other things that are being cut, otherwise the lines are going to just blend together. Okay, so again, I know it's a fussy thing, but well, it's being fussy, but to offset from there to the ceiling is going to be more accurate because we've measured obviously from the carpet. So I'm going to offset now 2910 from that line up above to get my ceiling. And then, like I was saying, I've assumed that the slab is about 70 mil above that. But we can work it out more accurately, again, looking at our brick courses. And so there, just got to watch out for the perspective playing tricks with you. But you can see there, that's probably, well, possibly where the slab projects. And so anyhow, it's just to get a rough idea, and we'll see then what turns out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm going to skip the next one. 19, 20, 21, 22, 25 to the top of the beam, let's say. Maybe a little bit more, but let's say 25, it probably is. And then we've got this one, which is a soldier course. So it's 25 times 86 plus, what do you think that measurement is? 110, exactly. Plus a row of mortar for that, so 120. So 2270. Right, so I'm prepared to adjust that, but that's hopefully going to give us a pretty good idea. So 2270, oops, back into my car, from the sill. So that's from, so going back to the photo. So I only counted from here. So that's from the sill on the outside. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line from there over to the left, and then offset 2270, and then work backwards. So we can assume that on the next story the details are basically the same. And this is, again, where CAD programs make life so much easier, because we don't need to draw all of that again. Of course, we can just copy it using the, so again, looking at the photo, so it was to the corner here that I took my measurement. So that would be this point. So that's my base point. And then I can simply snap to my line, and we can see, well, something must be out with my assumption that the gap there was so small, or maybe my measuring is out. So I'll go and recount those, but yeah, so let's have a look. So we've got the, well, I've given you the bulkhead height. So what did I say the bulkhead was? 2540. Okay, so 240. Okay, so again from the carpet up to here. Yep, so I must have maybe counted in an extra course or something, because the bulkhead here, you can see, shouldn't be too much lower than the beam. So looking at the image there on the outside, you can see that the windows there have a little bit of infill, but not that much. And so
sure, but at least the width was higher, maybe even 2. Oh, we've got the height of the bulkhead, so that's the top of the bulkhead, or the bottom of the bulkhead is high. Yeah, from the sill to the bulkhead. So I've always got that worked out. Because here we've got, I'll show you.
So we've got the, okay, so we know the sill height. Right, so we've got that sill height there. That's the bottom of the window. And then I've got that's the bulkhead here. So that's the top of the window. So from there to there, that's the window height. And so then, oh yeah, okay, so it's actually not far off. Yeah, that's right. So here, so it is right. So 165, that's probably pretty close. Maybe it's one course off. So it's worth double checking my counting. We'll have a look at that, but let's see. If we go back in here, I'd say actually it is probably one course off. It doesn't hurt to double check with the counting. So, and it could be here. It's funny with that because that wall projects out, and so yeah, I think that would line up. No, it's not going to move by that much. Here, yeah. Funny one. So, okay, I'm going to count it from here, then do it properly. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 28, 29, 30. That one's, no, that's a whole width. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, plus 120. Okay, so 37 times 86 plus 120, 3302, so let's say 3300. And so that is from the corner here to the next one above. Yeah, okay, so I must have counted an extra course. And so there, it's easy then to just move all of that, but not these two lines because they're measured from the interior. And I'm just going to bring it down 100. There we go. So that should be pretty accurate and tells you. So I've actually seen the inside of that structure there, and I thought it was less than that. So yeah, I thought it was a lot less than that, but that's actually what it must be. So then these lines can go, and I'll maybe just measure those in case you want to double check any of those distances. So from the corner of this slab here up to the, well, I'll start with the top of this wall. So I've got that at 945 now, and then the thickness of that sill I've got at 165, and then the thickness from the top of the sill up to the we'll go straight to the beam. So that's 1505, and then from the beam up to the slab is 535. We shouldn't need to know those because that'll be the same as what you've got on the level below. Okay, so then to finish that off, the windows here will look fairly similar in in section as they do in plan. So I can copy all of these lines, selecting them right to left to get a crossing across all of them, a crossing window. Use copy, snap to the corner here. In fact, sorry, I'll do that again and snap to the other side. So copy and I'll snap to this corner, and then go up to the corner of the sill there. And then I'll use a couple of tricks to make it easy to do the top. I'm going to firstly just stretch these lines down or trim them. So I'm going to draw a line across and then use trim with that line as my only cutting edge. Enter, and then I can just trim all lines back to there. Delete that line. And now I'm going to draw another line from the corner of the sill up to the top. Make sure it's perpendicular to the top there. And then I'm going to use mirror and select all of the lines with a window left to right this time to get just the lines inside my window. So I'm getting just the frame essentially. Enter, and then get the midpoint of that line I just drew previously. Go to the left, and now you can see I've got a mirror up here. So no, I don't want to delete originals, delete my temporary line, and then now I can use extend. Here I'm just going to press enter to make everything a cutting edge and go across all of those. So that's got the top. There we go. That's how easy it is to do the window. So now, actually, I've gone a little bit too high because I forgot about the, there's a little part that you can't see from the inside, but you'll see it from the outside in the photo here, that little bit there. So that's why the window actually lines up with the bulkhead, not with the slab. So I'll show you how to bring this down. It's fairly easy, just using stretch. I'm going to go right to left, go around all of those things, and then I'm going to hold down Shift to click on the lines of the beam, because I don't want them to move. Enter, pick it up on the corner, and bring it down to where I want it to go. What's happened there? I must have snapped to something wrong. Let's just do that again. Stretch. Oh, did I? Okay, that's why. Yep. Okay, that makes sense. So I'll just do stretch, making sure it's stretch. And then, so the trick with stretch is to try and get it all with one crossing window selection. And then when you deselect, if you want to take things out of that selection, you can use Shift, but don't do it with a window or a crossing. Because if you do that, it'll do a new selection, and that'll make it not work. So all you can do when you're using Shift is click directly on objects to remove them. So it's a bit of a trick. So you have to use a crossing window, but make sure you try and only use one, and then removing things, use Shift and deselect just by clicking directly onto things. So now, here we go, if I pick it up on that endpoint, that's better. And I missed the bulkhead, easy to just bring that back using the grips, so that's fine. And this line as well, doesn't matter if I just bring that back afterwards. And there we go. So there would be an extra piece of concrete in there that is filling in that gap. And we can just draw that in with lines. There we go, something like that, it's fine. You don't need to go too far with the detail there. So that's that section, well, on that side finished. We'll do the other side afterwards.